Hi guys, and welcome to my overview of the Nikon D2H. I noticed online a lot of people were saying, is it current? Well, of course it's current. Depends how you use your camera. Now, yes, I know it does have a 4.1 megapixel sensor, but is it good enough? Yes, it really is. It was when it first came out, and it still is now. I have regularly printed out size A4, A3 with this. The camera was originally designed as a sports wildlife photography machine. The camera will actually allow you to take 8 to 9 pictures per second, which is really fast, especially even compared to today's cameras. Now, the camera's quality is excellent, has all the functions of any pro line digital SLR you'll ever come across. Has a wonderful body made of magnesium alloy. It's a solid machine. You feel like you can knock nails in with it. The camera was actually introduced in 2003. I think it was either June or July off the top of my head. I've had this particular example from new, and as you can see, it's in excellent condition. I've taken nearly 80,000 photographs with it, and it depends how you look after your kit. I did send it off to Nikon because it had an error message that came up, but Nikon seemed to have rectified that, and they sent it back to me with no extra cost. I am a happy D2H user. I do have many other cameras too, but I still keep referring back to this one as a benchmark camera because it really did break the mold, in my opinion, for quality, speed, ease of use, and I love it. There are, however, certain things you need to be aware of when using a camera such as this. It is large and it is bulky and requires a steep learning curve. It's not for the faint-hearted or for someone who's just getting into photography. With regards to other pro cameras nowadays, it only has one compact flash slot, which is okay because it's only 4.1 megapixel and you can put an awful lot on a 4GB card. In this case, I'm putting in a SanDisk Extreme 3 4GB card, and I'll get nearly 500 shots at RAW and JPEG combined together, which isn't bad at all. It's a nice snug fit, it clicks in well and feels like it's weather sealed. I have used it in the rain and it still works. No errors as yet, thank you. The 4.1 Nikon ground up designed sensor for this machine is in DX crop mode, which has a multiplier of 1.5. Very handy when you're trying to apply it to a lens, trying to get that zoomed in shot to that ultimate animal picture you're looking for. Now, going back to the roots of the camera, with its wildlife origins and its sports ways and whatnot and fancy things, it's very weather sealed. So when you click a lens in, like this one for example, the seal is very tight. I've used this in the snow and the rain and at the beach, and there's been no issues whatsoever. It's an excellent camera, but you pay for what you get. I love the positioning of the buttons and switches and dials on this machine, and it gives me a great deal of confidence when using it in all different conditions. It allows you to no-brain take photographs. At the rear we have the menu buttons and the display screen. At the bottom we've got the ISO, the picture quality, whether you want to have it in JPEG, RAW, Fine, TIFF, NEF, whatever you fancy, the white balance too, and also the menu buttons up ahead. Here you can see I've got the screen guard in place to make sure it's kept scratch free. The actual image you can see in front of you here is not giving it any justice. Although it is a small screen compared to today's standards, it still works really well. If you notice at the bottom of the menu, it's got wireless connectivity too, the WT1 adapter. I don't have one of those, so I can't comment on that, but apparently it did work very well. On the side here we have extra controls for connectivity, which allows you to use studio flash equipment, microphone, other connectors, and also USB. All nice and clean here, as you notice, and again all weather sealed with that lovely rubber coating. To the front we have two extra ports. One I use for my cable release, and the other one you can put extra flash gear on. If we look at the build quality of this camera, it also has a vertical grip built in, so no add-on needed. It is a pro-end camera. Has all the dials, the command dials, front and rear. We have auto focus on and off, auto exposure on and off at the rear, and as I said, the two command dials front and rear for your aperture, speed of the shutter, etc. On off switch, and also we've got these lovely contours that allows you to put your thumb in place, and so it's easy to grip. If we put it back to the horizontal position, it still grips beautifully in the hand. You can see the groove there that I'm pointing at and how it fits the contours of your hand as you're holding it. So wet weather slippage doesn't occur. It's excellent. When this camera came out, it seemed to be like a new version of the F5. I went from the F100 straight to this one, and it felt very similar, especially in build quality. Okay, this is a picture I'm taking of the garden, or part of the garden, with my D2H, and I'm going to put the settings at 1000 ISO. I'm putting it on manual. It's on f4.5 with a shutter speed of about 20 seconds. So I can just show you this. So it's on manual, 4.5, ISO is about 1000. Light's very poor at the moment, so I'll take a photograph and see if it comes at similar to what you can see in front of you there. There you go. Had it on matrix metering. There you go. Not bad at all. All in all, this camera is not for the faint-hearted. However, it really is very good, so it's worth persevering with it. Now nowadays you can pick one of these up anything from £50 for a ropey condition one, although it's about £250 for an excellent condition one such as this. Now my shutter count is around about 80 odd thousand. However, it's still beating very strong. The shutter release mechanism apparently, well according to Nikon, is good for at least 225,000 guaranteed. I can well believe it. So is the Nikon D2H still current for today's conditions? Yes it is. Of course it is. It's absolutely brilliant. The pictures it takes now are still as brilliant as they were when it first was introduced in 2003. The camera itself is built to last. It will far exceed your expectations and won't cease to amaze you how good it is. I know it has its limitations. It doesn't have a higher ISO than 1600. I've very rarely shot above that anyway, because the image quality becomes too grainy and almost unusable. I do have a full frame D3 which goes way beyond this, but again the image quality, there's not a lot to pick between the two. There is if you want a pixel peep, but who does that when you want an image A4, A3 at its biggest? This is the first of a two-part series in using my D2H. We'll be uploading the other one soon, and I'm going to be taking some random photographs of my f2.8 70 to 200mm lens and show you how good it is, even now. It's a ridiculous comment, isn't it? It still will work fine, but I will prove it to you guys. See you soon.